Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining the Royal We on this wonderful evening, guys. We're going to be talking tonight about allowing the narcissist to fight each other because narcissists love to fight. That's what abusive narcissists do. They fight, and they want to fight with you. They want to fight with people nonstop. It's part of their makeup. It's part of what gets them going. It's part of what helps them feel any worth and significance in this life. And so in this video, I want to talk to you about what happens when narcissists move on to other relationships, because sometimes people ask, what happens when narcissists get involved with other narcissists? Well, in this video, we're going to talk about this, and we're going to talk about just allowing them to go and allowing them to live in this place where they fight with other narcissists, and by all means, let them tear each other to shreds, right? That's what we're going to be talking about. Let me go ahead and say hi to people as they are coming into the chat here. How are you guys? Thank you so much for jumping in. Thank you so much for joining. Hi, everybody. How are you? Hi, Lucy. Hi, Carla. Hey there, Live Life Happy. Hi, Lore. Michael Terry, what's going on? To be aware, awareness. Hi, Lady J. Hi, Brown Girl. Your Majesty. How you guys doing? How is everybody tonight? I hope you guys are doing really good tonight. I'm happy that you guys are here, and I'm looking forward to talking with you. The telephone line is open, guys, so I'm going to encourage you guys to go ahead and start to gather your thoughts and think about some questions that you might have, and I will put the telephone number back up just for a second here. There's the telephone number, and you can use that telephone number to call throughout the night, and the telephone calls do come in right after we're done talking about the lesson or the topic of the night, so to speak. And the topic of the night, there's the phone number, guys, is allowing the narcissists to fight one another. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive right into this, guys. We know that narcissists like to fight, right? And as a matter of fact, I remember one of the issues that I wrestled with when I was dealing with abusive narcissists who were in family members is I would go to other family members and I would say, why don't you stand up for me? And in a way, I was saying, I want, listen, they're doing their thing. They're doing their projection. They're doing their fighting and yelling and cussing and screaming, and they've got each other's back. Why doesn't somebody help me out here? And there was a very profound statement that somebody made very close to me and said, Kevin, do you really want me to be like them? And I thought about it, and I was like, wow, you're right. You're absolutely right. In order to stop narcissistic abuse and to stop narcissists with what they're doing, you, in a way, have to become like them. That's the only way to beat them at their game, because that's what they want. That's the world they live in. That's how they actually get along with people, is through the fighting, through manipulation. They live in a world where everybody in their circle, in a way, is a liar, an enabler, a manipulator, a fighter, a scrapper, a bully. This is their crew. And so you have to make a decision. Do you want to be in that crew in your life? Is that the life you want to live? Because if being with a narcissist, you're going to be one of those things. You're going to be a bully, a scrapper, or an enabler, right? Or you're going to fight, because that's the only way they function in life. That's how they were that's how they functioned growing up. They had to fight and lie and cheat, manipulate their brothers, their sisters, whatever, to try and get what they want, to get attention, to do whatever. This is ingrained in them. It's who they are. They come along, they find you, an empath who is different. You're loving, you're sweet, you're genuine, you're charming. You want a genuine relationship. They're like, ooh, this is fantastic. But at some point, I need to fight. They need to fight to be superior, to find their identity and their self-worth and how tough they think they are. And believe me, they're not tough, because as you know, let me first of all say this about fighting, guys. Every one of us has a fight inside of us. Make no mistake about it. You have a fight inside of you. So do I. I'll be honest with you right now. If it ever came down to somebody intruding in my home, threatening my family, my kids, my wife, I would not hesitate to take whatever necessary actions are needed to take to end that threat immediately. Okay? I'm sure each and every one of you would do the same thing. This is how we view fighting. It's not a game. It's a scenario where it's life or death, and it can be, okay? And so when you meet abusive narcissists, they don't look at it that way. It's not reserved for something that is for life or death. It's a game. It's a game. This is why if you do get back at them, or you do say something back, or you do raise your voice, they turn it around as to, oh, you're so mean and you're so cruel. All of a sudden the fight's over. Well, we didn't expect that. I didn't expect you to fight me back. I expected you to just acknowledge my superiority over you. That's what narcissists do. But the moment you really turn it into a fight, the moment you turn into that, okay, if this is a fight, then it's going down, right? You know what I mean? They don't want that. They don't want that. In fact, that's when they will start to twist and turn and make you out to be the bad person and even contact authorities on you. And they will also get restraining orders. They will accuse you of being violent and hostile. They will flip the entire script when all you're trying to do is defend yourself. This is why it's important to make that decision to go no contact and get the heck away from abusive narcissists. There is no winning in the situation. They will win you by bullying you. They want to fight with you, but not to fight, not to have a mutual fight. They want to fight so that they can be acknowledged as being something better. It's not a real fight, okay? So what do? You get out of the relationship and you stand back and you let somebody else who is a narcissist deal with them and let the narcissist fight one another. This is why I titled the video the way I did. I'm making it a call to all empaths everywhere, to those of you who have faith and have understanding and live by principles and morals and integrity. I'm calling all of you guys in the Royal We family, step away from abusive narcissists. Do not engage with them. Don't fight with them. Pull back. What happens if you are amongst these, like wild animals in the wild, and they have nothing more to eat? They will probably most likely just turn on each other and just ravage each other. And that's kind of the thing I'm thinking of too. If you want to know where narcissists, they grew up fighting one another, probably if they had siblings. They grew up in a family that fought all the time. Let them fight each other. Let them tear each other up. Stay out of it, right? It's bad enough we get involved with these people, and then we try to fix them, and we try to help them, and we try to stay in the relationship. They don't want that. They want to live in this world where they're tearing each other up. So let them. Just don't be a part of it. Stay out of it. Because the moment you get involved in that world and you start fighting back and defending yourself and standing up for yourself and doing all this, you're going into their world more and more. You're going into their game, and you're taking what is supposed to be something as a protection for you, and you're using it in a mind manipulation game. Don't do it. Not worth it. Okay? Because you're not prepared. Neither am I. We don't think on that level of, we can fight for a game. It's not a game, right? So that's what I had to say about that, guys. I hope that made sense to some of you, and I hope that some of you who are wondering right now, should you say this? Should you get that little dig in, that little jab? And I hope that this helps you to understand, no, don't do that. Instead, let the narcissist go on and let them fight amongst themselves. You, on the other hand, hold yourself up to a higher standard, a different integrity, a different moral code, right? You are the royal we. Hold yourself to that moral code, guys. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening to that. The telephone line is open, and I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say. We're going to go ahead and take a call from Connecticut right now. You're live on the Royal We. Thank you so much for calling.
Hello?
Hello. You're live.
Yeah. Yes. Hi. This is Mike again, of course.
How you doing, Mike?
Mike. So I'm listening to you talk on with that blue microphone on you. I just want to let you know that you are very knowledgeable in terms of them tearing each other apart.
Yeah, I've seen it.
What I wanted to tell, I have seen it too. Here is what happens, which I've seen it happen and I've heard it happen. When a narcissist chooses to disengage from you, okay, and run away, and they usually do run away, either when you're depleted or when they've lost a fight, what they fall back on is their flying monkeys. The flying monkeys are usually their own primary family members.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Once they fall back to their primary family members after let's say, a divorce or a failed business, and those family members, they all share the same genes, and most of them are more or less narcissistic towards each other. The amount of fighting between them is so fierce. Okay,
Yes. Yes.
it is extreme, and you cannot imagine how badly they want to tear each other apart.
I've
The
seen it.
only
Yeah.
time that they will unite is when you appear to fight back. Okay, when you appear to take what's rightfully yours and to fight back to get what's yours, the narcissist and the flying monkeys, they all batch together to fight against you, and you are absolutely correct.
Excellent point. I'm so glad you brought that up. I saw that myself. Okay. This is for the community. What he's saying is absolutely true. I've seen this. It works with any narcissistic family, any kind of a dynamic. What they will do is they will live a life tearing each other apart. This is typical. They tear each other to pieces all the time. But you being an outsider, stepping into that, they do in this phenomenon band together, and all of a sudden, all that anger and aggression now has a different focus, and that focus is you. You're the outsider. You're the one trying to make change. You're the one trying to, according to them, you think you're better than everybody else. And so all of a sudden, you get to deal with what's called collective narcissism. It's also a mob mentality. And for a minute, they all forget their strife with one another, and they're all excited because they get to throw all of that on you. And it can be very dangerous, very hostile, especially when you're dealing with collective and a mob mentality. Very dangerous. So it's best to get the heck out of there. Recognize it, get the heck out of there. And like you said, once you're out, once you've made a statement, I'm not going to be a part of that, you can watch them collapse back on top of each other again. They always do.
That's an excellent point. I just wanted to let you guys know that even when you have gone no contact, and when the narc has moved back amongst their primary family members or their flying monkeys, you empaths don't realize it. But you empaths are more terrifying in their hearts than anything else in this world. To us, God-believing people, we are only allowed to fear God and nothing else. Those people are so ignorant and have no sense that they don't fear God. They fear the empath. And it's completely unfounded, because you're not malignant. You're not going there to fight them. But that's the kind of paranoid fear they have of the people that they have hurt. But if you fall back and watch them basically tear each other apart, okay, and you don't have to do anything. Justice is being served. I remember I called for a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
This is a wolf is the super predator. They're the ultimate predator, and they usually come in gangs, just like the narc and their crew. Now, here is what happens in a wolf pack. When a wolf goes into a fight and gets lacerated or injured and goes back into the pack, the other pack members smell blood and weakness in that wolf, and they tear that wolf apart. This is almost exactly to what happens to a collapsed narcissist. When a collapsed narcissist goes back to their den with the rest of the flying monkeys and the narcs, they are already been injured. They have had a narcissistic injury, and they are weakened.
Right. Interesting.
And the other people that are part of the wolf pack, they will attack that narcissist.
Right.
And this is when you're going to see the Hoover back.
Sure.
When they go back and the other ones try to hurt that narcissist, the narcissist starts hoovering you, trying to get supply, trying to get relief.
Because they're not getting it there. Yeah, don't engage. Right.
Do not engage. Do not form any contact. Just stand on the top of the hill and watch. This is the end game for them. Okay. I just wanted to let you know. Yes,
that's good. Good call, man. It's the end game for them. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things in there that I wanna take off on, if you don't mind. But thank you so much for calling. I appreciate it. You're very insightful, and I appreciate your call. Call anytime.
Thank you for taking my call. I appreciate it.
You
Have
bet,
a good day.
man. All righty.
Bye.
The phone line is back open. I really appreciate that guy, man. Thank you so much. There's I enjoy what you have to say and what he has to bring to the table here for the community. Um, a lot of things in that conversation that we picked out on, that I wanted to piggyback off of, and one of them was this idea that, first of all, there's no respect within their own dynamics, within their family, within their life. This is why, as you said, when they go back, if there's one that was beaten or wounded, just kind of like in the pack of animals, they smell that blood, they smell that, they tear into him. And this is kind of how it is. Narcissistically abusive people, and they're flying monkeys, they don't accept any kind of weakness. They don't have compassion for people. This is the inhumane side of them. Again, they don't look at each other, and they don't look at people in general as just being people. They don't have that support and that love. It's come on, you're better than it. Come on, you're tougher than that. Come on, we don't do that. Come on, you know what I mean? This is it, right? And it's very sad. You don't want to be a part of that world. Could you imagine living like that? Really? No, you don't want to. It's a very sad thing, but this is a reality of certain narcissistically abusive people, the backgrounds that they come from, and just how it is, right? The other thing is that you do have to understand that they do turn on their own. A lot of times people will say, well, how come it looks like they get along well with the flying monkeys and this and that? No, that's just when you are present. That's because when you're there, the abusive narcissist has managed to get the collective group to single you out because you are the outsider. And now it brings them all together to confront you. The flying monkeys now have a purpose, but when you're out of there, they don't have that. And so they're back to their devices against one another. And they do. They do fight one another. There's all kinds of drama that you're not even aware of, and you don't want to be aware of it. You want to get the heck out of there. That's the purpose of this video. Stand back and watch. Watch the narcissists fight one another, but don't engage with it. Don't be a part of it. We got a call from Texas. You're live on the Royal We. Thank you for calling.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi.
I've called before. It's been a few weeks. I'm so glad I caught you. I have a new development in my story. I know that before I had told you that I was having a lot of problems with my family, and there was a family business.
Mm-hmm.
They would kind of throw me out of the family business.
Okay.
Well, for the past couple of years, I've been involved with a gentleman. Well, he wasn't such a gentleman, but kind of a romantic long distance relationship. And I felt uneasy about it, and I didn't trust my gut. And I know that's one of the things that we do. It actually turned out that he was a flying monkey for my family.
Oh, wow.
And he lured me into a relationship, and he seduced me. And then he was, I guess, he knew my family situation because I got really close to him. And, you know, because I was close to him, I wanted to build that intimacy, and I began to share things with him about my family situation.
Was he a flying monkey from your family before he met you? In other words, was he kind of sent by the family, or did he get involved with your family after he met you?
I suspect. Well, my sister had set me up with him. Like, had introduced us about 11 years ago, so we had known each other for many years.
That was your first red flag. That's your first red flag right there. Your sister had already introduced you. You should have said right away, "No, I'm sorry, I can't get involved with you, man."
I was so crazy about him, and I let down my guard. And he moved to my area. He actually lives right out there where my family lives in West Texas. And he seduced me, got me into a relationship, and I guess he was reporting back to them everything I would say. And then he would be really sweet to me for a few weeks at a time, and then he would turn really vicious, and he would tell me things like, "No wonder your family wants nothing to do with you. You know, it's true what they all say about you."
Right.
And I mean, my blood pressure got really high. I put on weight. I mean, I became pre-diabetic. The abuse was just horrific.
Right.
And I'm trying so hard to get away from this man. And even just within the last month or two, he's been in contact with my sister, and he's been sending me emails about, your sister says this about you and this about you and your dad. Right. He even met with my dad secretly. My dad, I found this out later. My dad swore him to secrecy, and they spent the day together. My dad bought him dinner. I am just sick over this, Kevin. It's horrible.
You've got to stay away from it, right? If he wants a relationship with your family, let him go. And
Yeah.
you've got to get out of it. You've got to cut the
He
ties.
told me
Got to cut the ties with this stuff.
he proposed to me, told me he loved me, and we were going to get married. And then all along, I guess it was just for sport, just to hurt me. I don't really know. It's the craziest thing. And he just kind of pops in and out of my life from time to time. Like if I block him on my phone, he'll send me emails, and he'll try to sweet talk me back. But then if I go back to him, then he becomes, after a week or two, he'll become really vicious to me again and tell me how crazy I am. And
well, of course.
There's just no. Oh, it's horrible.
Did you see last night's stream? Last night's stream, I talked about stop rewarding the narcissist, right? How do you reward these people? Well, you're rewarding him. So basically, if he comes over, if you are giving him your body, if you are giving him these things, these treats, these goodies, cooking for him, even giving him your time, you're rewarding him.
Yeah.
And so you got to start asking yourself, what are you rewarding him for? Because he's cute? Because he's got curly hair? I don't know. It's probably some stupid reason, and you got to stop because it's destroying you, and it's gonna.
He's incredible.
He's what?
He's incredibly charismatic and charming. I think. I mean, I'm not qualified to to make
all shallow stuff.
Yeah.
All shallow stuff.
He could even be like. Yeah, I think he could be maybe even psychopathic. He's so wicked.
That's right.
And
scary.
This is really scary. He told me when I first met him that his grandpa was a Baptist preacher, and his uncle was a Baptist preacher. He will quote scripture to me, and then he'll tell me that God has turned his back on you. God wants nothing to do with you. You know, you're a horrible person, and it's just. And I've never encountered this kind of evil in my life.
It's bad, and you don't want to stay in that place. Okay, this is where you've got to make your exit. I think that let him go, cut him off.
I really think if he could, he would drive me to suicide if he could, and it's horrifying to think that my family could be behind this. And of course, he knows there's going to be a legal battle. And this is what's interesting. You know, I'm going to have to probably go to court at some point to get out of this business or hire an attorney. Well, I think what he's doing is he's playing both sides. He's playing them and telling them giving them information. I could be wrong, but I think this is what he's doing. He's giving them information about me. But he comes back to me when he's in his sweet mode, and he will tell me that he's going to help me, take my family on in this legal battle. He's going to give me advice and help me. And so it's really confusing, what I just can't, I can't make sense of it. It's so crazy.
Well, you can, you just don't want to.
Oh,
You know what's going on. You know what's going on. You
Yeah.
just need to make the decision that you don't need that. He's not the one for you. This is where you exercise some strength and exercise your boundaries, right? You're going to have to do that.
Yes. I always give in, but I wanted to call in because I wanted the other group members to understand that that this can happen, and this is another form of abuse by proxy, where they send someone who appears to be interested in you romantically, maybe just to crush you and hurt you. This can happen.
That's absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for taking my call,
Thank
Kevin.
you. Thank you for calling.
You have a good evening. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye. Yeah, guys, it's very difficult. The phone line is back open. We have time for one more phone call. And tonight, talking about dealing with the fighting of abusive narcissists, how we should just let them fight one another. You don't want to get involved with fighting them. This also is related in a lot of ways to the cup video that I made, one of my oldest videos and still one of the most popular videos, where I'm pouring the cups of water into one another and one of them's dirtier. The more you engage and fight with abusive narcissists, the dirtier your cup becomes, right? And this is a result of fighting with them. And you don't want to fight with them because before you know it, you're going to become just as dark and you're going to become just as used to that fighting. And that fighting is going to become your normal. as it's become the abusive narcissist normal. And before you know it, your life is going to be a miserable hell, right? Because that's where that life exists, is in the miserable hellfire. And you just don't want that. You want to be resonating above that. You want to be in a higher place, right? So this is why you stand back, get out of these relationships, cut these ties with these people, and give them no reason to fight with you. Remember, and I use the scripture a lot, behold, I send you out as sheep amidst the wolves, so be as shrewd as a serpent, innocent as a dove. Stay away, okay? And be innocent. In your actions, be innocent. We got a call from Texas. You're live on the Royal We.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi.
You're live. It sounds like there's an alarm going off. You got a tornado or something?
That's my son. Hold on 1 second. Jason, turn that off. Right now. Jason.
Hello.
Hey, sorry, sir. You there, Kevin?
Yes. How are you?
Hi. Good. How you doing?
Good. What's going on?
Hi. Sorry about that. That wasn't good, but that's okay. He a new little speaker, so he was putting his phone.
What's going on?
Hi, Kevin. There's a delay, so anyway, I'm hearing this girl talk, and the only thing I could say is 16 years I've put up with that, and I would say run. Any name calling or anything like that.
Hello? I think I'm losing you. Hello? All right, well, we lost that call from Texas. You're welcome to call back if you would like to. Sorry about that, guys. So anyways, guys, again, we're talking about fighting with an abusive narcissist, how it's not a good idea to do that, how they live in a world where they need to fight. And there we go. There's Texas calling back again. Hopefully she'll be there. You're live on the Royal We.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi there. We lost you there last time. You there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
I guess I wanted to add, I've heard that young lady talk before. She sounds so sweet, and I mean, I guess after years of that myself, I mean, somebody's talking to you like that or calling you names and making you feel that way. It's time to go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Hello?
I'm here still. Yeah. I apologize. I don't understand the delay in the talking.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It just kind of cuts out.
Yeah.
Do you have something else you want to add to that?
I just, the healing is the toughest part. And I think that's, the sooner you can get to that, the better.
Absolutely. I agree.
And if any advice on healing, the comments go pretty fast. I can't seem to read them fast enough.
Yeah, they can go fast. Well, we do have good moderators there. So if you have any questions about anything, you can reach out to one of the moderators and they'll help you out.
Okay.
Definitely.
Well, I talked to you like this week, and I'm trying to heal from this, and have to have contact because I have children.
Mm-hmm.
And I see right through the person these days. I can't say that I know how to handle it 100%, but I think emotionally detaching is the best way to do it.
Yes.
Yeah. I have children that, so I don't know how,
It's tough with children. You're going to have to learn how to co-parent and be the best mom that you can be, because that's your responsibility. And you're going to, and that's it. That's your focus and your responsibility. And you have to be okay with whatever the legal system tells you you have to do. So if you have to split the time with the child, then you have to do that. The worst thing you can do is get involved in games and using the children as a game piece and a pawn in your chess game, and telling the kids this about their father, and getting involved in that way. You don't want to do that. You
No.
just want to be a mother. That's what you're called to do. And hopefully at some point, perhaps even find a good male role model for them. But that's it. That's it. You don't want to get involved in this nasty game with them.
Well, after that, I see people getting quickly involved in relationships, and I think that takes a long time to heal. So,
yeah,
as far as the male role model goes, I don't know about that.
Probably not. But like I said, it's just an option if you were ever to do that. You'd want to make sure it would be a good role model, because that would be part of your responsibility. But obviously, that's not your first priority in this. Your priority is healing, and your priority is being a good mom. So. That's
exactly the two things that need to be done. I would say that anyone's in that situation, because it took me from the time I knew, which I knew before, but there was a certain thing, hey, you got to get out of here. And when you know that and you feel that, I think you need to do that.
Absolutely.
And no matter what it takes or whatever, it's the only way you're going to get better.
Right.
I felt my life was very much imploding or going inside, and when I thought about the life I could have, it opened up. So I wish everybody blessings and strength, and God's strength to do what they need to do.
Absolutely. Well,
for
thank
a healthier life.
Thank you. Thank you for calling. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
All righty. Bye. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to leave the telephone number up. You're welcome to call, but I want to go ahead and say a shout out to the moderators and thank them for everything that they're doing tonight. Thank you so much, Blue, for everything that you're doing, all of the posts that you're putting up there, the videos, and all of the websites and everything that you're doing, Blue. Thank you so very much. Also, if you have any questions about the Facebook support group, I would go ahead and ask Blue. She'll help you out with that as well. Taylor Zabal, thank you so much. Taylor, not sure if you're there tonight, but thank you for everything that you're doing. If you are there, everybody give Taylor a lot of love as well for just being an amazing person and welcoming and sharing. All these people, all the moderators, they do everything they can to keep the chat flowing. And also D. Dahl, D, thank you so much for everything that you do and helping people and being a support for everybody here on the Royal We community. Guys, we're so thankful for the moderators and everything that they're doing here. So be sure to give them a lot of love for everything that they do. They are a huge part of this. As a matter of fact, they are, for the most part, that they run the show here. I just take phone calls. So thank you so much for the moderators, for everything that you guys do. Also, before we get another telephone call, go ahead and say that if you'd like to support the Royal We, you can do so by donating on the Royal We homepage. There's a PayPal link. You can donate monthly or one-time donation, whatever you want. You can also support the Royal We through purchasing T-shirts and merchandise. You can find a link to the merchandise down in the description box of this video, and I encourage you to check that out, guys. And with that, we'll go ahead and put the phone number back up, and we'll wrap the show up. I'll give a little bit more time for one more telephone call while I'm wrapping the show up, guys. For those of you who are interested in taking the Royal We course, you can find out more about the Royal We course in the description box of this video. Taking the Royal We course is going to allow you to have more one-on-one time with me as I counsel you through it, and it will also give you a better understanding of the Royal We heart and the direction that we're going and where we came from. And we'll take this last call from California. You're live on the Royal We.
Thank you so much for talking with me this evening. I'm excited we were able to connect. I had a question. I don't know if you've covered this in some other stuff, but I don't believe you said, or anyone had said anything about it yet. And I was curious, what happens with the narcissist when, if you can find a partner outside of, the relationship? Right now for myself, I have children, so it's that complicated thing where we're definitely going to have to figure out how to co-parent. And I can't imagine finding someone, but I'm still hopeful. But I was curious, what happens if and when you do find someone from that narcissist?
Well, your life moves on, and you will grow more distant and distant and distant from the memory of the abusive narcissist, and you'll be creating new memories. Okay. Now,
Well,
go ahead.
Well, no, I think I meant rather, is there, something that we could expect from the narcissist that might be,
Yes.
still trying to control from the other side?
Yes. So typically, what abusive narcissists will start to do in these situations where you are moving on is they will start to make things difficult. Okay. And they can't really touch your relationship, so to speak, but they'll start to usually use the kids as game pieces. This is what you have to watch out for. They will start bringing them back late. They will pick them up late. The abusive narcissist will oftentimes fight for more time with your kids. They may even convince your kids that the new person in your life is not a good person. You know what I mean? This type of stuff. This is what you can expect from narcissists.
They know, nightmare, right?
Yeah, it is a nightmare. But they know that since they cannot bring you down because you are in a new relationship, you're in a happier place, and you're succeeding, you're successful, and you're doing fantastic. You got a great new relationship. So since they cannot destroy you anymore, as a person, they will go after what you love the most. Okay. And very manipulatively. That's how they will try to hurt you. So,
is there a time frame for children that you would recommend, to kind of do no contact with in the same kind of fashion that, to start to get away from them initially as, an adult?
You mean as far as kids becoming abusive?
Well, no. I mean, as far as I don't know how long no contact, works when you have children or how long you can take it. You know what I mean? But do you think there's a time frame that would be better for children? Just sort of like a general, is a year okay to keep the kids from a narcissist? But I mean, I don't know if you could really do that legally, but I was just curious if you thought contact for children was also okay.
So here's the thing with no contact using your kids, right? Don't take responsibility for the father in this situation. Don't make it your responsibility to make sure he sees the kids. I've had this conversation with a woman before, and it got mixed emotions, but this is the reality of it. Okay. What I said was this: if he wants to have a relationship with his kids, you have to let him fight for that. And if he does fight for it, and if he goes to the courts and he gets weekends or whatever the courts do, you have to learn to be okay with that. You have to accept it. Not only accept it, but understand that there are a lot of, kids out there that have no fathers. Okay. So if he wants to, so if he wants to fight and have, weekend, then that shows that he wants to be a father. Let him do it. Okay. But don't take that responsibility for him. If he's not fighting to see his kids, don't say a thing. Don't do it for him.
That's the thing.
Don't do it for him. You leave him alone. Don't get involved. Don't get involved.
Do it, and I'm sure you know what this is. They're not when how they. I don't know all the terminology. I'm kind of new to all of this, but I guess it's the discard. When they do that, of course, it's not just me; it's the kids as well. He specifically, his kind or whatever version of what he does is, we're neglected, forgot about. There's no calls, he doesn't answer the phone. You know what I mean?
Right.
And but then he just I know this is very typical. He just shows up. What I'm saying is, should I not answer the door? You know what I mean? Until he fights on a real battleground with the law and courts and all that, because I'm just curious.
Right. Yeah. If he's showing up,
to what degree?
Yeah. No. You've got to stop that. Him just showing up. Right. You've got to warn him and let him know. Yeah. That's not. He can't do that. Are you guys married or separated? What's the deal?
No, we're actually not any of those things. We're not together. It's been quite a long time. I have a child with a disability. So I'm trying to keep him involved because, you know, I am kind of out here in California on my own, kind of sorting out some of this stuff. And it's been a weird curveball that we've been thrown with lead poisoning from an old house we lived in. So it's a child who was allegedly autistic, and we found out there was actually long-withstanding lead poisoning. So he has basically, you know, pretty bad brain damage. And I want to have the support of him, of like looking after the kids if I have to go to meetings and things of that nature. But because I've seen him now and I know what I'm dealing with, and it seems like the bigger the problems get, the more I need him, of course, the less he's available, because it's like, you know, he wants to, I don't know, trying to hurt me, I guess, but it doesn't hurt me. It makes me mad at this point. The only reason why I'm crying is I'm just so frustrated with the rigmarole of the cycle that it is.
Sure.
And it's just, you know, like I cannot answer the door for a little while.
Well,
but
I hear a lot of confusion in your voice, because you're saying that he comes and you don't want him over, but then I also hear that you do want him there. So
it's nice to have him when he's available, but I just hate all the other stuff that comes along with it, of course.
Right. I know. But
you're going to on his terms. So you know what I mean?
Well, yes. Yes, I do know what you mean.
Yeah.
And so if you, at this point, right, since there's no legal, weekends and assignments, I would first work that out. He's not going to do it. Okay, you can't expect these people to make these rational decisions. So if it's driving you crazy, take the initiative, go to your local courthouse, find out what you have to do to do custody sharing, this and that. Once they say, they'll write it out for you. Maybe someone in the community can help you out and knows exactly how this works. Okay, but in the way I would think it would work is they will, have you guys appear or do something and figure this out. If he doesn't show up, then that says right there, he doesn't want any part. And you're going to have to be okay with that. Okay? So prepare yourself for that. And then what you're going to have to do, then what you're going to have to do is if he acts like he doesn't want to have any part to do with that, doesn't want to help go through the legal system, then you have to, after that point, do what you have to do to protect yourself and to finalize it. If that means you have to get a restraining order, say, listen, he just shows up whenever he wants. It's frustrating me. It's hurting me. It's scaring me. That's got to stop. And you stop that. But right now, everything's in limbo because nobody's really doing anything. You guys aren't working on any custody sharing or anything like that. So right now, it's just who's going to do what. You guys are playing this guessing game. You know what I mean? So you've got to take that initiative.
If the law, I was wondering, it kind of goes back to the original thing I was asking. If I did make those steps, if the law were involved or like another man were involved, if he would disappear completely is what I was wondering, if it's just a personality. But I think maybe not. They make it harder.
Not likely.
The answer on every level.
Not likely.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for clearing that up. Sorry for being long-winded, but it is confusing. And thank you for all of your knowledge and your spreading awareness. It's so important. Thank you so much.
Thank you for calling. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the show. Thank you so much for being a part of the Royal We tonight. Excellent callers. Thank you so much for everybody who called and encouraged and asked questions and shared a little bit about what you're going through. And I want to thank all of you in the chat room community tonight for all of the support that you offer one another. That's a huge thing, guys, just being there for one another in this chat and in the support. I want to thank all of the moderators again. And I know I saw the question pop up. What is with the name The Royal We? All right. Well, I'm not going to answer that tonight, okay? But I do promise you, Blue and Taylor, I promise you, ladies, and everybody, that at some point I will be sharing about the Royal We and where it came from and all of that good stuff. All right, guys. So thank you guys so much for being here tonight. Have a great night, everybody. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, 10 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the Royal We Live. Have a great night, everybody. See you tomorrow.